Filmmaking, like any other project, is honestly just about putting out fires. It's about identifying what needs to get done, pushing as much as you can to accomplish it, but also at some point realizing the reality of situations that you need to accept and then moving past that, or trying to move past that. I started pre-production on Chameleon about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and since then there have been moments in which we have rapid progress. Like I was able to immediately find a producer and a DP. I was able to finalize the script, and send that out and immediately have interest from other creatives. But there's also been a lot of things I needed to deal with. For example, the realities of getting certain locations became much more apparent that warranted changing portions of the script. Currently, the script now only requires 2 locations: an interrogation back room and a storefront. And that sort of reality of the location sort of availability also informed and sort of dictated some of the visual language. Before, I sort of had a very vague idea of how I wanted the film to be shot, but now that I have these realities of like, okay, I only have a certain amount of time at certain locations, especially the storefront, that now informs a little bit of how I'm planning to set the visual language and vision of the film. Not only that, but we lost the DP, so we found another one. So there's like these ebbs and flows, these highs and lows of the process that requires both a subjective and logical objective sort of attitude. Because on one hand, you have to be objective. You have to acknowledge the realities when they exist, and you also have to understand your limitations and constraints, and which things you can move past and work around, and which ones you can't. But on the other hand, the only way that films ever, or emotions are ever really felt, is through a subjective perspective, and like a nuanced perspective that's very personal. So you also have to also realize what elements of the process or the film are important to your vision, and really emphasize those and place importance on that. And what that means is that you might need a certain amount of equipment, but you might not really care that much for makeup, or you don't really care that much for, the visual language, and sort of just shooting it normally and keeping that pretty much, free flowing. But you have a very keen or significant importance on like the dialogue or the delivery or certain actions. I am glad I'm going through this process, because I think this is the foundation for understanding my personal vision and or sort of my visual direction in general. Like, how do I want to present emotions or a narrative, and what things for me are important, and what things can I like experiment and try out stuff with. So yeah,